My name is Jolly Mugisha, the Deputy President of National Unity Platform in charge Western Uganda. I lead a team of people, of Ugandans who are wishing to change the leadership of this country. Recently, Mr. Museveni reshuffled his cabinet. He dropped some members like Honorable Chitutu, Nandutu, and a few others, but he brought in a group of people that have been eye-catching in Uganda, and notably Mr. Baramu Barugahara and the lady from northern Uganda, Lilian Abe, Honorable, because those two specifically have been spearheading the activities of General Muhoozi, which he has been illegally, because he's a serving army officer, which he has been illegally, conducting in Uganda, which Ugandans have been interpreting as an intention to vie or to participate in the politics or the governance of this country. Mr. Barugahara, Balam, all of you know that he has been the chief mobilizer, the chief organizer. He was the drum beater for General Muhoozi. Across, and recently there was even a rally in Masaka, and he has been failing people. We saw that the most recent one of Masaka, he was ferrying people from Kagadi, from Bunyono, from wherever, to come and attend General Muhoozi's functions. Now, for him to have been brought on board to become a minister in charge of youth is something that Ugandans should not take lightly, because here is a man who came up with an idea and supported the idea of General Muhoozi to illegally conduct political rallies. And now he has been given a ministry that is in charge of the youth. And the youth in Uganda are jobless. Number one, they are jobless. Most of them are jobless. They look to any person who comes up with money, to here and there. So we are saying, now, if he's in charge of the youth ministry, he's going to use that position to continue to mobilize for General Muhoozi to head this country, which has been worrying most Ugandans. The same thing applies to Honorable Lilian Abe, because she too is a youth. So you might find that the reason why Mr. Museveni decided to put them in those portfolios is because he's targeting the presidency for his son. There is a story I normally tell people of the person who made a scoop of karo, and when he was going to put it in his mouth, it slipped out of his hands and it fell right into the dish of his sauce, and he grabbed it out and said, "I am trapping you from up and down." So I see this as a trap. Even when Mr. Museveni has been able to relieve Ugandans of some of the corrupt officials, especially the Mabat Saga, Honorable Chitutu, Nandutu, and others, he has left others there. Honorable Gorobi, that one of, is it between Busoga there, he has remained. And there are many others who are really corrupt, whom he has not touched. But his bringing up this team really should be an eye-opener to Ugandans to realize that we are being trapped from the bottom now, right from the bottom. While he remains up there with his eyes and whatever programs he has that are hoodwinking Ugandans, now the trap has been laid on the ground. And even when we fall from up there, we shall still fall in the trap that he has put under the table. In this regard, of course, we cannot overlook his appointment of General Muhoozi to the highest office in the UPDF. You know, if you follow the events from the time when General Muhoozi joined the army, some people say he joined as an LDU, some Ugandans complained, but the man has been progressively promoted up to the time now when he sits at the helm of UPDF, the Army of Uganda. Remember, his father is the commander-in-chief, right? Now he heads UPDF as CDF, right? Chief of Defense Forces, right? Now, what should Ugandans expect out of that? To me, as an adult Ugandan, I think this is one way of telling Ugandans that get ready, the time has come, or the time is coming. If it is not already here, time has come to show my replacement, my heir, the person I have mentored. Because teachers teach for the youngsters to follow their footsteps. Now for him, for Mr. Museveni, to promote his son to this level really indicates that he's already paving the way for him to take up Uganda's presidency. And this is the time now for Ugandans to come up and talk, say what they want, and act accordingly. Because many people have seen this coming, and I want to believe that all our viewers have been able to see this coming. I saw it too, because there is no way, there is no any other explanation that Mr. Museveni can give to Ugandans. There are many generals out there, the Tinyefuzas, Sejusa, there are many other old ones. Even some of them had him in the bush. They also have children who are even more educated and even more committed, even who have participated in fighting for this country. But his son, with regard to his son, he has progressively promoted him, and now he has reached the climax. Now what should we expect next? What should we expect next? That's what I'm telling Ugandans, that the time is now. Let's be open-eyed and see what step comes next. But we need to prepare, I think, for the worst. Because if we may use some scriptures or copy from some scriptures, you know, children of leaders of ancient leaders in the Bible, who would come to take leadership in the manner like the one we see the president of Uganda promoting his son directly to, they used to be not very nice leaders. Because I mean, you can imagine somebody who grew up, went to school, I don't know, Sweden or wherever. I don't think that even in his head, he can even know that there are people who are sleeping hungry. I don't think that General Muhoozi knows that there are people who can even, who go to school barefooted, children who go to school barefooted, because he doesn't know it. He doesn't know that there are people who earn less than 500 shillings a year. He doesn't know that there are people who sleep hungry. So for him now to be given the leadership of this country on a silver platter, he will always take it for granted. And therefore Ugandans must prepare and see how they can reclaim their space, the leadership of their country, or else wait to sink in this Titanic that has invaded us.
Now, where does this leave NUP? Because now for you are Deputy President of National Unity Platform. Where does this leave you?
We are in my language, there is a proverb. There is a short story. There is a bird, a small bird that makes a lot of noise. Now one day, it sensed danger, that danger was coming in the neighborhood. So it stood up and made noise and talked. And then one person there, of course we use animation, one person there in the animal world, as he said, for you, you talk too much. You are always talking. But where were you when your uncle's house burnt down? You know what it replied? It said, Nti, even then, here I was talking. Now, where does this one leave NUP? NUP has taken the vanguard of informing Ugandans. We are telling Ugandans. We provided what we thought would have been good leadership for this country. Our victory was robbed from us. And we went to the public court. Remember, we didn't go to court. We had wanted to try court, but court, we realized that some of the cadres of NRM were the judges and the magistrates and the lawyers. So we withdrew the case and took it to the people. How did we do it? We have been telling the people that, look, this is what is becoming. Uganda is becoming a monarchy. We have been mentioning it, and we shall continue to mention it to educate Ugandans, because you know that people take different levels, to understand. There are people who still trust President Museveni, like when he was new in 1986, but many others, every day that passes, whatever he does is being watched and being reported. And remember, even social media was not readily available those days, but now here we are preaching. You know that even religion started long ago, but even today you'll find some pagans, right? So we shall continue to talk, and we shall employ other means, and we call upon Ugandans who really want this country to develop, to move away from the hands of one family, of dictatorship, to come and join us so that we can forge a way forward for all of us. Because poor roads affect all of us. Bad schools affect all our children. Very poor livelihood. Just to look around, the looming poverty is not affecting only members of NUP. Everybody is suffering here. So we are saying, don't coil there in poverty. Don't coil there in misery. Wake up. This is the time for you to speak. If you can't talk, then act. If you can't act, then run and do something so that we can be able to liberate our country, all of us. Yes.
So, now, your last word is to Ugandans.
I said this is the time. Those of you who have been doubting that we are not in a trap, that we are not trapped, now is the time for you to see. Whether you like it or not, here we are. The trap is set up and down. Whether you fall by the wayside, if you fall by the wayside, you'll fall in the bucket of sauce there. If you go up, of course, you'll go down the throat into the father's stomach. Now, come up. You will even recall that even the party the son had started, or the grouping, was called PLE, and for me in my translation, I was calling it people looting Ugandans. Now whether you... It's called Patriotic League of Uganda. But P means people, right? Then L means looting. Then U is Uganda, people looting Uganda. That is my own interpretation, and the interpretation of many other Ugandans who have eyes. But I want to call upon Ugandans that it is time for us to use our eyes, to use our inner selves, our inner spirits, to read the situation that is affecting Ugandans, and then join the forces that are willing to lead us, because we cannot work without leadership, so that we can be able to change Uganda. If not in our times, then for our children.